Date: April 5th, 2025. The air was thick with the scent of grilled steak and unspoken words when Elena stumbled back into our home that Sunday evening. Her auburn hair, once meticulously styled, now clung to her face in wild tangles, and her emerald eyes carried a frantic gleam. I stood by the patio grill, brushing marinade onto a ribeye, the sizzle a quiet counterpoint to the storm brewing between us. She dropped her bag with a thud and muttered, "I figured you'd rather not kiss me now." I didn't look up. "I'd rather not," I said, my voice steady as I turned the corner a quarter turn. "My name is Victor Grayson, an aerospace engineer who turned equations into a fortune, and until that week, I'd thought Elena, my wife of 5 years, was the constant in my chaotic universe that IT started Friday morning." Elena's speech had been a rehearsed symphony of defiance, delivered with the poise of a seasoned actress. "I still love you, Victor," she'd said, her gaze drifting somewhere beyond me. "But I need to explore. Life's too short, and monogamy, it's just a construct." She spoke of freedom, of tasting the world's colors and shapes, as if our marriage was a monochrome prison. I listened, jaw tight, as she piled cliches atop excuses, her sighs punctuating the unraveling of our vows. "I'd rather not," I'd replied when she leaned in for a goodbye kiss. Her mouth fell open, a caricature of shock, and I felt a flicker of satisfaction. She'd expected rage or tears, something she could argue against. Instead, I gave her silence wrapped in 4 simple words. She didn't come home that night. Or the next. I spent the weekend in a haze of routine: golf with my father, dinner with my parents on a river cruise, while Elena chased her fleeting rebellion. When she returned, disheveled and desperate, she tried to bridge the chasm she'd carved. "Would you mind cooking one for me?" she asked, nodding at the steak. "I'd rather not," I said, eyes on the grill. Her frustration flared. "Is that all you'll say? It's getting old, Victor." I turned to her, ready to speak, but she waved me off. "No, don't. We need to talk, and you can't just shut me out. 7 years, 2 dating, 3 while I chased my law degree, 2 after, and you're throwing it away over this." I plated my steak, added a grilled peach, and met her gaze. "I'd rather not do that," I said, and something in her cracked. She launched into a confession, her voice trembling with regret. "I needed to know, Victor, what it's like with someone else. I thought it'd settle something in me. I love you, always will, but I couldn't stop wondering." She begged me to react, yell, threaten, anything but the cold distance I'd built. "I'd rather not," I repeated, and she crumpled, tears streaking her face. The days that followed were a dance of avoidance. She tried to win me back. Breakfast on Saturday, apologies laced with desperation, but my response never wavered. "I'd rather not." Friday night, I left her alone again, dining with my parents while she stewed in her guilt. When I returned, she was a sobbing mess, convinced I'd been with another woman. "Were you?" she asked. "Yes," I said, thinking of my mother's laughter over dinner. Elena's face twisted with anguish, but my shift in tone gave her hope. She clung to it. Saturday evening, I dressed in a tuxedo for a gala, alone. Elena intercepted me on the stairs, her voice breaking. "She's lucky, whoever she is. Our anniversaries were unforgettable in that tux." I smiled faintly. "No one compares to you, Elena." Her eyes shimmered with pain and longing. "Tell me about her." "I'd rather not," I said, and left. When I returned, she was waiting, her confession spilling out like a flood. Friday, this guy took me to a dive bar, then a concert with nosebleed seats. I paid for everything: my car, my gas. He groped me at a stoplight, and I ditched him at McGuire's. Saturday, a coworker got drunk, passed out, and tried to climb on me. Then a married guy at a bar, a grandpa with sweet talk. Every time, it fell apart. I ended up alone in a motel, listening to women below my balcony lament their own disasters. They said a caring, devoted man is rare, and I realized I'd thrown that away. She looked at me, pleading. "I didn't cheat, Victor." The universe stopped me. "Please, forgive me. Let's go back to us." I studied her, feeling pity but no spark. "I'd rather not," I said, and turned away. The twist. The letter weeks later, as I sorted through mail in my now quiet home, a letter slipped from the pile. No return address, just my name in elegant script. Inside, a single page. "Victor, I've watched from afar as your world shifted. Elena's folly was her own, but know this: Someone else sees your strength, your quiet resolve. You're not alone in this story. Look for the silver locket at the gala next month. It's a key. A friend. I stared at the words, a chill creeping up my spine. The gala I'd attended. Had someone been there, watching? I hadn't noticed the locket, but the next event was weeks away. Elena had moved out by then, our marriage a ghost lingering in legal limbo. I didn't know who'd written the letter or what it meant, but it stirred something in me. A curiosity, a flicker of purpose. For now, I set it aside. Divorce? Confronting Elena? Chasing this mystery? I'd rather not decide just yet. But the locket lingered in my mind, a silver thread pulling me towards something new. This version keeps the emotional core, Victor's restraint, Elena's regret, but shifts the tone to a more introspective narrative. The letter adds a layer of intrigue, hinting at a future beyond the marriage's collapse, leaving Victor and the reader with a subtle hook to ponder.